Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Midgard Golf. And we're back out here for the back nine, or our back nine, rather, as we're playing a shotgun tournament here, the four of us, me and my stepdad, Tim, my uncle Glenn, Bob, and one of my stepdad Tim's coworkers and good friends, Justin. So we're just having a great time. But out here at Pumpkin Ridge on the Ghost Creek course, so that's the public side, in North Plains, Oregon. So just a gorgeous track and a lot of fable on this track, that's for sure. I named them all off in part one, so if you haven't seen that, go back and check that out for all of the champions that have won various tournaments in the past on this course. So pretty cool. So us starting off our back nine here on 11, so we're going to be doing this part here as holes 11 through 1. So 11 through 18 and then circling back to play number 1 as we shotgunned off on number 2 to start the tournament here. So this 11th hole here, starting off with a little par 3, and the tournament's got us starting off on the, or teeing off, I should say, on the white tee, so that's 2 up. So for us, only 145 yards today to get up on this green, tipping out at 180. So with the pin in the back right today, that's definitely the sucker pin position. But yeah, you definitely don't want to miss to the right, nor short right either, as you've got a little creek that kind of crawls all the way up the right side of this hole. And then you've got a lone bunker off there to the back left, and that's pretty much all you got to worry about. You can miss all day to the short left, so that's really the safest miss. But for this pin location today, well, that will result in a colossally long putt. So yeah, we don't want to do that, as there's 4 of us. So let's give it a rip. I got the pitching wedge in hand and see if we can't stab this green and put it tight to the hole. Let's check it out. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 12th hole and the number 2 handicap on this course. And I failed to mention on the last hole, but that was the number 14 handicap on the course. But this hole here, the number 2 handicap, for us playing at 370 yards and tipping out at 444 yards as a par 4, pretty lengthy at its tips, that's for sure. I mean, pretty lengthy at any distance when you really think about it, depending on what tee box you're playing, assuming that it's commensurate to your skill level. So, yeah, I think pretty well deserved, this being the number 2 handicap. But, yeah, it plays pretty straight out for the beginning here, and then it's going to take a pretty sharp dog leg to the right as you approach the tee box. So you're going to need a fairly long drive to make that turn and have a clear shot onto the green. Otherwise, you're going to be forced to skyjack some trees off to the right side or hit a big old power fade to try to get on the green in regulation. That said, you've got a bunker off there to the right side in the fairway, and then some more bunker trouble up there near the green as well. So, yeah. Anyway, pretty difficult hole, I'd say. The play here, you want to cut, and pretty much all I'm hitting is cuts right now. So that's good news for me, but you really want to hit a bombed one at that. So let's see if I can smash one down there and make that turn and give us a nice short shot on this green in 2 to try to get a nice, well-earned and challenging birdie. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 13th hole, the number 8 handicap on this course. So, yeah, quite a bit easier than the last hole there for sure. Another par 4 playing for us at only 329 yards and tipping out at 381. So, yeah, a lot shorter and a lot straighter. So, yeah, it cants a little bit up there towards the green to the right, but, I mean, by and large, it's just a straight hole. So, that said, though, you've got tree trouble on both sides to deal with, a bunker off to the left side in the fairway, and then once you get up to the green, you're going to have another bunker long left and short right. So that's pretty much all you got to worry about, though. Yeah, I mean, you've got kind of like adjacent fairway off there to the left, and some room in the trees off there to the right. So I really wouldn't worry about losing a ball here. But yeah, depending on where you put it, you are liable to have quite a bit of jail trouble if you don't put it in a decent spot. So pick something that you can hit in the fairway here, I'd say, because otherwise it's probably going to cost you a stroke just to chip out of the jail of trees anyway, if you happen to put them, or your ball, I should say, in the trees. So there's that. Yeah, apart from that, I'd say be picky about where you tee it up here if you're going to try to shape the ball. If you're going to go for a dead straight shot and you know you can pull it off, then yeah, great. Tee up right in the middle of the tee box. But if you're going for a fade, yeah, definitely move that tee placement all the way over to the left side of the tee box. And if you're going for a draw, the opposite, all the way to the left side of the tee box. Yeah. Apart from that, there's not a whole lot to worry about here. So let's give it a rip, driver in hand, and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading to the 14th hole and the number 10 handicap on this course. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to worry about on this hole at all. It's a downhill par 3, playing for us at 201 yards and tipping out at 234. So that's pretty much what offers any kind of difficulty on this hole at all, is just simply the length of it. But the green is massive, so yeah. That said, I mean, it's a long shot, but boy, you got a pretty big target to land it on. So, and it's downhill, so it plays for less yardage. It's really not that big of a deal. One lone bunker off to the left is all you got to worry about, and if you happen to miss it right, then there's some pretty thick grass over there that might just chew up your ball. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to miss that way either. I'm saying that, well, I mean, depending on how confident you are out of the bunkers, the left is probably the better side miss. But, yeah, I mean, just hit it straight. It's a par 3, right? And you've got nothing to worry about in front of you, no forced clearance. So, yeah, it is what it is. Just give it a rip and see what you can do. So I have the 7-iron in hand to get up there and try to stab this green. So let's float one and see if we can't stick it on there close. Let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 15th hole and the number 6 handicap on this course. Little par 5 for us, 498 yards for us, and 552 at the tips. So pretty stock standard as par 5s go, I would say. But yeah, that said, I mean, you do have a little bit of difficulty to deal with in the narrowness of the hole. Not all that wide of a fairway to stick it on here. And you've got tree trouble all the way down the right side, obviously, and I mean thick forest with some tall grass, so you definitely don't want to miss hard that direction. You've got adjacent fairway off to the left, so that's definitely the safer place to miss. However, you've got some kind of rolling knolls with some long grass up there that might chew up your ball if you happen to strike those. Apart from that, if you barely miss the fairway to the left, there's a string of bunkers that crawl up this fairway, all up the left side, stretching all the way to the green, ending with 2 little bunkers right there, green side. And then there'll be another bunker off to the right side of the green as well. So, let's see here. Strategy for the hole. I mean, for the drive, yeah, keep it somewhere nicely in play, and I definitely favor missing left. However, if you're not in range to strike the green in 2, and you're going to kind of put yourself into a position to have a nice, easy shot on the green in 3, then I would say that the best angle to get on the green for your 3rd shot is definitely going to be from the right side of the fairway, so that you won't have to worry about clearing the 2 bunkers that you're no doubt going to be staring at if your 3rd shot happens to be on the left. So you've got all that to consider as well. So I am just grabbing the driver out, and I'm going to try to rip one down there, and I'm hitting fades today, so I'm just going to try to safely keep it in play for the most part, and probably try to crawl up the right side as we approach the green, unless we get within a yardage where I think I can put it on in 2, and then of course I'm going to go for it. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading to the 16th hole, and the easiest hole on this course, as it were, the number 18 handicap. Playing for us today at only 113 yards, and tipping out at only 133 yards, so no matter what, this is a short one. But that said, you've got a ton of bunkers up there to deal with, 3 off to the left, well, kind of one left, and then one left front, and then one right in the front, and then another one off to the right. A little sliver of fairway length grass just to the kind of front right, and that's about all you got for a short miss to stay out of a bunker safely. But then, a little bit of grass in between those bunkers up there too, as you can see. So not that intimidating of a shot, especially not for the yardage. And the green is definitely wide enough at this yardage to be quite inviting, I would say, as well. That said, I would definitely rather be short than long, as chipping back up onto this green from the downslope after the green there is definitely not fun, as the green is definitely going to promote rolling your ball right off the front. Anyway, so if you're in between clubs for the yardage here, I would definitely take the shorter club and just try to step on it in order to make the yardage happen, as opposed to sawing off a longer club. That's just my piece of advice, my 2 cents, but of course do whatever you want, not a whole lot to worry about here. And definitely don't miss hard to the right, as you'll certainly be in some really thick trees and some very tall grass out there as well. But at this yardage, I doubt you'll be thinking about any of that, regardless from what tee box you're playing. So, I have the 52-degree wedge in hand. Let's send it up in the air real high and try to stab this green. Let's check it out.
That's got good promise. That's got good promise.
Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! What a shot! For the bird. Yeah. Tim called it. Needed a birdie and we got it. Sick. Oh, you gotta love that. A 2.
That makes me want to throw
Favorite number to put on a scorecard. Oh. Excellent. It's a good number no matter what.
All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 17th hole in the number 12 handicap on this course. A very, very short par 4 here, playing for us at only 273 yards and tipping out at just 329. So absolutely drivable yardage-wise, that's for sure. Now, that said, so the fairway plays nice and straight out there, very inviting. You can miss left all day, and you can miss right a fair amount, but yeah, you miss right too hard and you're going to end up in some real thick trees real quick. So definitely the safe side to play is going to be, over there off to the left. That's for sure. If you are going to go for it in one, however, then be forewarned that there's a little bit of a lake up there. There's a little baby lake up there to catch your ball if you misjudge it and you're just barely short. So you're going to have to fly it all the way to the green on a straight line, that's for sure. unless you're going to try to play some like perfect cut and take the fairway line and get it to turn right at the end there and then bounce on the fairway and then roll up on the green that way. But oh boy, that would be one serious hero shot for sure. So yeah, I mean, with how guarded this green is by the water there off to the right in front of it from your angle that you're going to be looking at it from the tee box, yeah, that's going to make you think twice about trying to drive this green, that's for sure. So anyway, I'm taking driver out anyway because, well, I've got a couple of buddies here to try to put one safely in play for us anyhow. And yeah, I'm going to go for it and try to put it on the green in one anyway. And if I lose a ball, well, it won't matter because we'll no doubt have a safe one from one of my partners here. So let's give it a rip and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading off to the 18th hole and the number 4 handicap on this course. Playing for us at 381 yards and tipping out at 454 yards, so pretty lengthy as par 4s go, no doubt about it. But it's playing quite a bit downhill, so, I mean, not like ridiculously downhill, but downhill enough to shave off some of that yardage for you, so that's nice. No bunker trouble to speak of on this hole, so that's cool. But you do have a nice big lake down there that kind of stretches out from where a big drive could land or roll into all the way up to the green. So, yeah, that sucks. And that's right off there to the right. So, yeah, and of course the fairway slopes a tad bit from left to right and feeds over into that lake. So, you definitely, if you can help it at all, want to put a draw on your drive here, so not good news for me. If you're going to play a fade though, then yeah, playing it over to the left of that tree and cutting it back in from there, that's not a bad play either. And yeah, that should render you pretty safe as well. A tree that's going to be right in front of you, yeah, it's definitely far enough away for you to be able to clear it, so I wouldn't worry about that a whole lot either. Sometime on into the future, when that tree gets a little bigger, well, maybe that might change. But as it stands today, on the day that we're playing this track, yeah, not a big deal. So, Yeah, also, if you happen to miss to the left, obviously you're going to be taking more and more of the water out of play for your second shot, not having to really hit over it. So, yeah, if you can at all make it happen, just keep it to the left here, and you're going to be happy with that shot. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do on this beautiful, well, what should be the closing hole for this course. But of course, we've got one more hole after this, circling back around to number 1 that we'll be playing as our 18th for the day. So let's give it a rip, driver in hand, and see what we can do. All right, ladies and gents, and here we are heading to the first hole as we're playing it as our 18th today. So thank you guys so much for watching another episode of Midgard Golf with us. You know, we really appreciate your company, and if you're liking this content, smash that like button and that subscribe button and join us again. I've got a whole lot of great content coming your way from all over the West Coast here. It's going to be a great year on Midgard for golf vlogging, that's for sure. Got a huge backlog to edit up here. It's going to take months to do it, but I will get it all up and it will be awesome. So this first hole here and the number 11 handicap on this course, another par 4 playing for us at 372 yards and tipping out at 447. Another long one, especially from the tips there. So yeah, that's quite something. And it's not like it's downhill either. It's actually pretty flat all the way down there. So yeah, I mean, just kind of a tough hole. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it being the number 11 handicap. I think maybe it plays a couple of handicap numbers higher than that. But yeah, it is what it is. I guess I'd have to really think about it and and assess the course to see if I really agree or not with that rating. But anyway, apart from the length, actually, the fairway's pretty inviting. I mean, you can miss left and right without a whole lot of problem until you get way down there and run into the kind of rolling knolls up there off to the left, where you're going to have some long grass to deal with which might chew up your ball and make it unfindable if you happen to land in that. And so far as bunker trouble is concerned, you really don't have to deal with that either until you get right up there greenside. The whole dog's a little bit to the right once you start to approach the green, but for most of the hole it's pretty much straight out. So yeah, so far as hazards concerned, not a whole lot to worry about. So, I mean, as you're likely going to be playing this as your opening hole, a good one to just relax, take dead aim, and let it rip. And put it out there somewhere to feel free and just get loose and shake out those willies for the day. Probably shouldn't need much for a breakfast ball on this hole, that's for sure. So, driver in hand, I'm just going to try to smash one down there as far as I possibly can. And yeah, give us a short shot up on this green. So, let's give it a rip and see what we can do.
Oh, there we go. Attaboy. Attaboy, girl. Attaboy, girl. Nice shot, Justin. Yeah, that's a fish pounder for sure. Solid. Oh, hi Tim.
It's kicking or something.
Throws away.
Totally got the inside of that one. It's 18. It's been long
Oh man, you gotta love it. Sometimes you just gotta not think about it. Alright, well, thank you guys for watching another round of Midgard Golf. And we'll see you next time on what McMinimans. I guess we're playing next. Yeah, a little par 3 course, and then after that it will be Indian Creek over in Hood River. That'll be beautiful over there. Yeah. We'll pan over the area. Over here on this first hole that we're playing as our last. On Ghost Creek at Pumpkin Ridge.
See you next time.